Welcome back to part 2 of Dirt to Midas. In this video, I go through the bids I made pretty quickly, so strap in, pay attention, it's going to be very fast paced because I made a lot of money. And just before I get started, I just want to say if you haven't joined my Discord server already, you may as well. It has a lot of useful features for AH flipping, such as a price checker, bazaar bot, a bunch of different things like that. And if you have a spare Nitro boost, please consider boosting the server. Nitro boosters get access to extra giveaways and a bunch of other things like that. So why not? Servers are 2 boosts out of 4,700 members, and that ratio is just honestly a bit sad. That's all I had to say. Enjoy the rest of the video. We're starting off this video where we ended in the last one. We're at 1.9 mil, so that gives us enough money to buy quite a lot of things on the AH. My first bid was on an emerald blade that was hot potato booked. I had no clue how much these went for when they were hot potatoed, so I didn't really want to put too much money on it. It ended up going for 520k, and I honestly have no clue if I should have bid on it, but I don't think too many people are going to overpay just because it's hot potato booked. I also bid on a vamp mask, which was going for 870k. These things are really inconsistent with how much they go for, but I've seen them go for 2 mil plus, so 800k is a really good price. My final bid was 1.1 mil, and I ended up winning it. When I put it up for auction, I actually put it up for 12 hours, which is quite a long time for my style of flipping. This is because vamp masks are pretty uncommon, and so they take a while to get bid up on auction. I made a lot of bids while I was AH flipping, and so in the interest of time, I'm going to be skipping all the ones that I didn't win or that didn't make me any money. So I'm just mentioning this because I have a lot of people saying, oh, how do you win all your bids? Well, it's just because I put the bids that actually matter in the video, and I leave out the ones that don't. I did another buying from NPC and selling to Bazaar run to get a little bit of extra profit. And the Crit 6 books I mentioned earlier, well, I didn't win those, they went for about market price. I went and bid on a bunch of different healing rings going for about 300k each. And I also bid on some bat talismans that are going for about 70k each. I managed to win one of the healing rings that were going for 230k. I put it straight back up on auction for an hour and no starting bid. I made a bid on some Mastiff boots that were going for 45k. Definitely wouldn't get them, but there's always a chance. I won a bat talisman for 76k, put it straight back up on AH for another hour. I bid on a bat ring for 400k, won it and put it straight back up on AH. I also bought some clean crystal boots, which I also won and put straight back up on AH. There's a bit of a pattern forming here. I literally just do this, I find an item that's going for cheap, I bid on it, and then I sell it, and hopefully someone overpays or even pays market value for it. This is where I ended my first session of flipping. I'd come back the next morning and see how my auctions did. I came back the next morning and I found that my auctions had sold for a total of 3.2 million. So I'd made about 1.4 mil total. Most of this profit had come from the vamp mask. I bought it for 1.15 mil and it sold for 2.28, which is almost double. And all the other items I sold went for about market value, so I made little bits of profit on everything else. I had an extra 100k in the bank, and so that left me with 3.3 mil total. I started off my bidding on 2 different Young Dragon chest plates. I put 600k on one and 400k on another. I also bid on a spider ring that was going for a little bit under market value. I claimed one of the young chest plates that I won and put it straight back up on auction. It should go for about a mil or so. Now I made a bunch more bids on a lot of different items. Young dragon boots, a haste ring, and a lot of candy artifacts. All these bids have potential for 100, 200, 300k profits, somewhere in that area, so if I do a lot of these, you can start to build up quite a lot of money. I won the young dragon boots and put them straight back up on auction, 1 hour, no starting bid. I bid on a bat artifact and collected my candy artifact auctions. The reason I was flipping a lot of Spooky Festival items is because the event had just happened, and so all the items related to it were going for really cheap. And there's always a chance that someone's going to pay full price or even more for some of these items when they don't realize that the event had just happened. I bid on a bunch more bat artifacts and I also managed to get a spider talisman for 60k. Put it up for auction and moved on to some more bids. This was a pretty nice buy. An intimidation artifact for 690k is very worth it. I claimed one of the bat artifacts I won and put it up on auction. I claimed the intimidation artifact that I got for 700k, and this is a really good purchase. They have an average price of about 1.5 mil. And that's where I'm stopping for that session of flipping. Here are all the items that I got in about 30 minutes or so. I deposited all the money in the bank and came back in a couple of hours. When I came back, my auctions had only gone for 3.8 mil. If you add the extra 300k that was in the bank, I'm at about 4.1, 4.2 mil. So I'd made about 800k profit in the 30 minutes I'd been playing. It's not bad, but I definitely could have done better. The main reason was because the intimidation artifact only went for 750k. It could have easily gone for a mil plus, so I lost out on a bit of profit there. Apart from that, pretty good turnout for about 30 minutes of flipping. I made a bunch of bids now, so I'm just going to go through them kind of rapid fire because I didn't win all of them. And a lot of them were just little tiny flips. Wise Helmet, Tara Boots, AOTE, Young Dragon Boots, Sponge Helmet, and Tarantula Leggings. The only one I actually managed to win were Young Boots for 150k. And as usual, put them straight back up on auction. I put another bid up for some Tarantula Leggings, 500k, pretty good price. If I get them, that's some nice profit. Sponge Helmet went for 800k, I definitely could have bid more, but I had no idea what they were worth at the time, so it's a bit unfortunate. At this point, I was making tons of bids, and so I'm going to be skipping through all the ones that don't really matter, and we're going to get to the good bids. Oh yeah, you remember that Sponge Helmet that went for 800k? Well, here's one going for 3.5 mil. Safe to say, I definitely could have made a lot of money on that, but oh well. Here's a kind of dumb bid I made. I spent 1.12 mil on a strong chestplate. If I was planning to use it, then sure, but because I'm flipping it, not the best purchase. I got a healing ring for 230k, which is pretty good. Hopefully I should make about 100k, 200k profit on that. I bid on some Young Boots for 170k and collected some of the money back from the bids that I hadn't won. Here's a really good bid, a Diver's shirt for 200k. I also managed to grab some Crystal Boots for 2k, which was the starting bid. No one had bid on them. Unfortunately, no one outbid me on the strong chestplate, so I had to sell it, and as you'll see later, I actually lost money on this flip. I got the Diver's shirt for 400k, which is a lot below market value. And as usual, I put everything up on AH and hoped for the best. I also bought a healing ring for 140k, which is a pretty nice deal. I went and collected the money from auctions I hadn't won, and I went and bid on a Young Dragon helmet. A lot of the Young pieces are going for quite a lot right now, and they can be really good flips. I won the Young helmet for 500k, and hopefully I'll make some profit. Another pretty good flip I did was on some Tara leggings. I bought them for 850k, and right now they're going for a mil plus usually. And so I just put it up on AH with no starting bid. Here's an interesting one, a red claw artifact. Now these can go for 800k up to a mil, so finding one for 400k was pretty nice. The strong chestplate I bought earlier for 1.12 mil sold for 975k, so kinda got ripped off on that. I managed to win the red claw egg and so put it up on auction. Here's another good one, light Young Dragon chestplate. First bid was 400k, I think I bought it for 550 at the end, and got that, put it straight back up on auction, should be 500k profit or so. Huh, Techno was in the lobby I was flipping in. They say Techno never dies, but to be honest, I doubt the man can AH flip. Anyway, I sold the Young helmet and I actually lost money on it. I bought it for 550 and I sold it for 480k. In hindsight, really wasn't that good of a flip. 550k for a Young helmet is not the best. I also bought some strong boots for 600k. They can go for 700, 800k, or a bit more. So hopefully I'd make a little bit of profit off that. The Young boots that I bought for 200k ended up selling for around 400k, so I basically doubled my money with that flip. I bought another pair of strong dragon boots for 600k again, and so hopefully I'll get 200 to 300k profit on that. And that marks the end of that session of flipping. Here are all the items I was selling, quite a big variety. And so this just goes to show, when people ask me, oh, what items should I flip? Well, I don't know, just flip everything. So I came back the next day and checked my auctions, and I was at 6.4 mil. Plus I had another 550k on me, so that left me at nearly 7 mil. Here are all the items that I sold and the prices they went for. There wasn't really anything that went for a crazy amount either. It was all just things going for average, slightly above average prices, and I didn't get cucked on any items, which is really nice. The Diver chestplate ended up being really good. I got it for 400k and it sold for 1.2 mil, which is kinda nuts. My first proper bid of this session was a big one. It was on an AOTD. Prices have come down quite a lot for these recently, and so now you can get a fully enchanted one for 3.7 mil. And so at this point, we're officially further than my Dirt to AOTD series. We have a fully enchanted AOTD plus 2.6 mil in the bank. Also, a little side note, when you're auctioning AOTDs, don't put them up for 6, 12, 24 hours, because it's just a complete waste of time and it's kinda annoying for flippers like me. And because they're in such high demand, you'll get the exact same price if you put it up for 30 minutes as opposed to 6 hours, 12 hours, or something like that. The strong boot flips worked well in my last session, so might as well do it again. Fully enchanted one for 700k, that's not too bad at all. I also bought some Tara leggings for 800k. Pretty good price, they usually go for $1 mil, somewhere in that area. I won the Tara leggings and put them straight back up on auction. I also won the strong boots and did the exact same thing. At this point, flipping just becomes a cycle of buying cheap items, putting them up for about an hour, getting all your money back and spending all your money again on flips, and just repeating that process over and over again until you have a lot of money. My final purchase for this episode is a really good one. Blaze boots for $1 mil. To craft these with blaze rods, it would cost 2.8 mil, and so getting them for $1 mil is an absolute steal. And because these are a component for the Frozen Blaze set, people need them. So I should be getting about 2 mil for this piece. And so I logged back in to check the final total of how much money we've made in this episode. 7.7 mil in auctions, plus an extra 700k in my purse. That totals at 8.4 mil, and we started at 1.9 mil this episode, so that's an absolutely ridiculous amount of money to have made in such a short amount of time. When I looked back through the total amount of time in my footage for this episode, it was only 3 hours. So this is 3 hours of playtime for about 6 mil profit, which is just absolutely ridiculous for a profile with no skills, no items, and just money. And that's where I'm going to end part 2 of Dirt to Midas. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, all of that, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.